It's another morning. Good morning, everyone. It's time again for more Warhammer. Yeah, that's about it. Interesting day today. Two things have been going on that might be worth noting. They also, before we get into the Space Marines, they've done something with the Heresy and Legends stuff. So, don't know if you've seen this. Basically, all of the, I'll just go down the list because it's a little bit simpler. All of these things are leaving competitive play, mostly Forge World and Heresy-based models, things like the Leviathan, Contemptor, and Daredeo, Kratos, Sakaran, Spartan, Cerberus, etc. Not everything in Forge World is gone. A lot of these pretty much are Forge World, but there are other exceptions. Oh, wait, no, you can't run Mastodons either. Crap. I thought Mastodons were not. Yeah. So, javelins, the dreadnoughts and Deathstorm drop pods. I guess dreadnoughts are regular dreadnoughts are also going to be legends and stuff. This arrived recently, and it kind of sucks. It kind of really sucks. It's a certain variant of the Land Raider Vindicator Whirlwind. I'm assuming it means like the Land Raider Proteus. You could still use the regular Vindicator, but if I'm not mistaken, I think there is like a fancy Vindicator. There's the Whirlwind Scorpius or something. This honestly kind of, so it's weird. It's weird. How do I explain this? Like, okay, where is that? That's Whirlwind Scorpius, and then Vindicator Laser Destroyer probably is the one. So it's in this really aggravating stage where the whole point of it is, hey, Forge World stuff, particularly Horus Heresy, is becoming more and more popular lately because we're respanning the range. But with so many new data sheets out, balancing it is particularly difficult, especially because they're all going to Space Marines like crazy. They're just going. All of it is like the Space Marines because it's Horus Heresy. That's all Space Marine stuff. So they're getting a massively increased range. And that's not good for balance of the game. So you could still use these things. We will still be giving them data sheets, but you cannot use them in competitive play. And what that basically means is you can't use them. Because let's be truly honest with ourselves. Just by saying like, oh, you could use it in a casual game. No. Once you write it off, as a social aspect of it, it kind of goes away. Once you write off the models, no one plays with legends. Even the casual players really don't play much with legends. And I know I'm generalizing right now. I'm sure there might be a couple of you that do. But for the vast majority of people I have spoke to, you play with the classic thing and not with legends. The leeway comes with like modeling preferences and stuff. So, I mean, basically you're writing them out entirely. Like you want to use these, you have to use them either in a 30K Horus Heresy game, which you may or may not play, or just not at all in a competitive environment, with the exception of Custodes and Knights, because a lot of their range has a lot of Forge World stuff, and also because I guess it is a little bit of a lore thing because they kind of keep their fancy gear. So, kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks ass, honestly. It's in that weird mental state where like you're like they're right. Yes. The Marine range is getting insanely large, and with the massive updates in 30K, having to constantly balance them over and over again for the new edition of 40K is rough, is difficult, and removing them from a competitive environment is understandable. But this is not like nerfing a character in League of Legends. These things cost tens to hundreds of dollars. And buying them, painting them up, taking the hours upon hours of time to build, paint, and spend the money to get these things ready for games to then be told that they will no longer be usable is shitty. It sucks. Their reasoning, 100%, like, I get it. 100% understandable. I get the whole reason why they're doing this, but I wish there was an easier process. I wish there was a simpler, I don't know, a simpler solution. Because I mean, I have a Night Lord's Leviathan. I have a Night Lord's Contemptor. I think I even bought one of the 30K Contemptors for like regular Space Marines or something. I have a Kratos. I think I have 2 Kratoses actually. I thought the tank looked really cool. Yeah, so like this sucks. It really sucks. It sucks as a consumer. I get it. I get it, but god damn it, is it annoying to have to deal with. That's all. Anyway, that's the thing I wanted to mention in the beginning. Yeah. It sucks. All right. Space Marines, the Angels of Death. Oh, now you're the Angels of Death again, huh? So we got the big 5 non-codex compliant Space Marines. When it comes to cover art, Wolves and Blood Angels are not very good. Black Templars, I think, are also not very good. But Death Watch is a little bit better, and Dark Angels just slaughters all of them. That is one of the best cover arts of the edition, let alone all of these guys. So these 5 chapters are the stars of their penultimate faction focus, and with so much to get through, we can only skim their surface. Rest assured there'll be plenty more when their data sheets arrive later this month. Let's see. Though their method of warfare may differ, the Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Black Templars, and Death Watch all draw from the same training regiments. As such, they retain the Oaths of Momen army rule. Each chapter is instead represented by a detachment with its own rule enhancements and stratagems. This means that any Space Marine army can choose to use the detachment should they see fit, provided they abide by their restrictions. No matter how much you love Librarians, you won't be taking Space Marine Psychers in a Righteous Crusaders detachment. So the main one you'll need to worry about is so that you can't mix in units with a different chapter's keywords. So no non-Space Wolf units are named characters or Deathwing Terminators and Champions of Russ, for example. Okay, fair enough. So what do we have here? We've got Dark Angels, then Termies, and then the Lion. Holy crap! Space Wolves, and then yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get through this. Unforgiven Task Force. Grim Resolve. When an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is battle shocked, change the Adeptus control characteristic 2 models in that unit to 1 instead of 0. I mean, that's fine. It's pretty good. You can still hold objectives and stuff, and keep yourself mostly pretty okay. You still suffer the other penalties, but it might be pretty good for keeping yourself alive in terms of the objectives. Honestly, it really depends on how important certain objective control ends up being, because like you can't outdo 10 guardsmen most of the time, but you could outdo 5 enemy Terminators with some, I don't know, who knows, 5 intercessors. So, I mean, it's like fine. It's a little boring, honestly, but it's fine. It's a detachment rule. It's all right. They still get Oaths of Moment and all that stuff. I almost kind of felt like this would be an Imperial Fists thing, just being all stalwart and everything. All right. Terminator Command Squad. Okay. So, let's see. Stormbolter and Power Fist replaced with one of the following. One Twin Lightning Claws. Wait. A back at launch of special abilities, including the only apothecary you'll find in Terminator armor. His Arthesium can bring back a whole Terminator every single turn. That's up to 4. Wait, couldn't I do this in Grey Knights? I think I have a Grey Knight apothecary. Oh well. So the composition is a Deathwing Ancient Apothecary Champion and then 2 to 7 Terminators. So there's a lot of like command squad style guys. Yeah, kind of like the guard one, which makes sense. They're a command squad. Can have their Stormbolter and Power Fist replaced with Twin Lightning Claws or a Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. Any of the Power Fists can replace with Chain Fist, and then for every 5 models in the unit, 1 Deathwing Command Terminator can replace a Stormbolter with Assault Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Plasma Cannon, or a Stormbolter and Cyclone Missile Launcher. And this unit can be equipped with 1 Watcher in the Dark. And it says the Watcher in the Dark can be found in the Deathwing Knights data sheet. I think we saw that already once, maybe. I don't quite remember what it does if we did. Let's see. Stormbolter, Power Fist, Stormbolter, Chain Fist for the Apothecary, and then the Halberd of Caliban on the Champion. If a character unit is from your army with the leader ability attached to the Terminator squad, it can be attached to this unit instead. Wait. Oh, can be attached to a Terminator squad in general. Got it. So 5-inch move, T5, 2 ups, 3, 6 up, 1 OC. Pretty classic. Infantry, Imperium, Terminator, so on. Deep Strike, of course, there's a moment. Narthecium. While this unit contains an Apothecary, in your command phase, you can return 1 destroyed model to this unit. Wow, that's really good. Wow, yeah, okay. That's very good. That's very, very good. Flat out just Apothecary, just boop, puts it right back in there. All right, wow, that's solid. Astartes Banner, while this unit contains an ancient, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of its models. That's pretty good too. An Honor or Death, while this unit contains a company champion, add 1 to the advance and charge rolls made for this unit, and you can target this unit with the Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. A company champion, not a Deathwing champion. So while this unit contains a leader, then a specific leader, then in that case. Oh, hello, Storm Shield. This bear has a wounds characteristic of 4 up. Okay, that probably is what Storm Shields are going to end up being in general. So because they have a 4-up invul save naturally, so Storm Shields are going to make them even tankier by giving them an additional wound. That might bode well. That might be what the Custodian Shield does as well, is turn the guys into 4 wound guys. So, okay, that's good to know. That's good to see. Assault Cannon, we've seen this profile already. Cyclone Missile. Oh yeah, Cyclone Missile Launcher is... It's just 2 missile launchers strapped together, so that's about the same. We know Heavy Flamer. Plasma Cannon is what it is. It's a plasma gun, but with D3 shots. And then we know how Storm Bolters are. The only thing different here would be the Halberd of Caliban, which is 5 attacks at 6/2/2. All right, that's pretty good. Everything else here we've seen kind of... Oh, it's got precision too. Oh, so if you roll up with this axe, you can just smack the character, just dead on. Don't need to use that stratagem for like heroic challenge or whatever. Okay, Power Fist, Power Up. I mean, we've seen a lot of this in the Terminators prior. But Narthecium is reviving a Terminator is really good. We know what Storm Shields do now. And then Honor or Death, Company Champion, add 1 to advance and charge rolls is pretty good. And the Heroic Intervention stratagem is also a very good stratagem. So I'd like that a lot. I believe it's like end of the charge phase. You can then spend 2 CP for the Heroic Intervention to charge your unit. It's like I think that's like a 3-inch thing. I think you charge them, which is pretty darn good. And doing it for free is very darn good. Dark has been joined by, yes, the Lions after this. But I mean, yeah, this is the Terminators. They're Terminators. They just got some nice little bonuses here. So that's cool. The Lion. I didn't pop this out. Whoops. The Lion. Let's see how the Lion will be. So he's T8, or he moves 8. He's T9. Is that making 1 toughness less than Gilman? Okay, 2 up save, 10 wounds, 5 leadership, and 4 OC. He is a monster character, epic hero, Imperium, Primarch, so on. He has deep strike, and he has fights first. So fights first is a very interesting ability now. If I'm not mistaken, it has been changed, where there is no such thing as fights last anymore. It's just fights first and charging. Normally, currently in the edition, if you have fights first and the enemy charges your unit, they still fight, like they make the choice first. They still make the choice. Because if it's like 2 units charge and you have 2 fights first guys, they pick to fight with one of them, and then you get to fight with the other. So if you have like army-wide fights first, it basically lets you alternate. It basically lets you interrupt over and over again. Now, I believe the player whose turn it isn't is the one who gets to pick fights first. So if I'm using the Lion and Terminators are charging the Lion, I get to hit with the Lion first. I think. I might be wrong. I think. So maybe. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's how it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Fights First is a lot better now. A lot better now to have on a unit, because you basically get to just be the first person. And having Fights First doesn't really matter much if you charge, unless you just want to, get like a bunch of guys in or something like movement. Okay. He also had. Oh wait! Holy hell! He has a 3-up invul. Oh shit. Oh, okay, okay. I'm starting to see the battlefield roll a little bit. So the Gilman has like a 4-up invul, right? Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and open up the Space Marines faction focus real quick and check out Gilman. So Gilman has the exact same stat line. But he has a 4-up invul save, and he also has Armor of Fate to set himself back up. Right, and he's definitely more of a command character, it would appear. So for the Lion, we have the lone operative ability, same as Gilman. The Emperor's Shield, each time an attack targets this model, subtract 1 from the wound roll. In addition, each time a melee attack is allocated to this model on an unmodified saving throw of 6, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound after it's finishing its attacks. Wow! He is going to be so hard to kill. Minus its attack too, not even melee. So -1 to wound in general, and then mortals on a 6 with no cap in melee. Holy hell! And then he has Primarch of the First Legion ability right down there. Holy hell! Okay. And that's like the Armor of Fate difference. So for gun-wise, Gilman has the better gun. Not by much, but the Lion just has this fancy pistol. 4 shots at 412 or 2 shots at 832. All right. And then for his melee, he has Fealty, which is his awesome sword. It is either a heavy strike, which has lethal hits at 12, 4, 4, 8 attacks. Gilman has the same thing, kind of. He has 1 fewer attacks, still lethal hits, but it's 14, 4, 4, so slightly higher strength. I guess that makes sense when you have a giant gauntlet. And then versus his sweep, which is sustain hits 1 at 16 attacks at 6, 3, 2. Whereas the Emperor's Sword has devastating wounds at 14 attacks at 8, 3, 2. So Gilman, interestingly enough, from a weapon profile standpoint, hits a little harder, I'd say, just by a little bit. The extra attack is one thing. I guess like the extra attack depends, but like, there's 2 attacks in the sweep, but the strength difference is much larger. So I'd argue that Gilman hits a little harder in melee overall, but he is significantly easier to kill. The Lion is going to be very hard to murder. All right, and then let's see here. And then he has to pick one of the 3 abilities, of course. All secrets revealed. Once per turn, when your opponent targets a unit from their army with a stratagem, but before stratagem effects are resolved, if that unit is within 12 inches of this model, you gain 1 CP after the enemy unit. You gain 1 CP, and the enemy unit must take a battle shock test. If the test is failed, in addition to that unit being battle shocked, the stratagem effects are not resolved. And that stratagem still counts as having been used this phase. Yikes. That is a little mean. Does it still... wait, so it says your opponent targets unit from the army with a stratagem before their effects are resolved. Does that mean it counts as being spent? It says it still counts as being used. So maybe like if they used Armor of Contempt, you can't use it again, but I can't tell if you actually spend the CP or not. Obviously, it's only if they're the battle shocked, though. And you still gain 1 CP easily. It's only 12-inch range, but that is still something interesting. Then we have a 6-inch aura of +1 to hit in melee, which is very good. And then no hiding from the Watchers, a 6-inch aura of 4-up, feel no pain against mortal wounds. Okay. Yeah, this is about what I expected for the line to have, which is to be a solid duelist / murderer stabby man. I see that they've gone less with making him kill harder than Gilman, but rather made him significantly more of a problem to kill in melee and stuff. Gilman, they're the same stat lines. Gilman is definitely more of a tactical character as well. His abilities are definitely more of a commander, whereas the Lion is either a manipulator or a buffing character as well. He also has Deep Strike, which is pretty great. Yeah, I mean that's gonna be, he is going to be a nightmare to kill, a nightmare. I think the biggest thing that you might be useful against him will be lethal hits. But -1 to wound is woof. And then even the saving throw to do mortals back with no cap. No cap? God damn. He's looking properly good. He's good. Oh, wow. Especially the 3-up invul. We barely see that ever. So, woo! All right. I think maybe there might be some people who are upset that he doesn't really hit as hard as Gilman, or he is like equivalent as Gilman, but honestly, I think this is fine. I think this is perfectly fine. He looks like he's gonna be very murderous and pretty fun. So, cool. Go Lion. Space Wolves! All right. Space Wolves. Let's see. We have the Champions of Rus, deeds worthy of saga. At the end of the battle round, you can select one of the sagas listed below. If that saga was completed by your army during the battle round, all Astartes units from your army gain the associated benefit from the end of the battle. Oh, okay. So if a saga was completed by your army, they all get a benefit, which is normally characters. Saga of the Warrior Born is one or more Astartes character models from your army destroyed one or more enemy characters. Melee weapons equipped by Astartes models from your army have the sustained hits. It says at the end of the battle round, you can select one of the sagas below if it was completed by your army during that battle round. So you can do all of the sagas if you wanted to. And then you just keep on buffing your characters over and over again. Okay, so kill an enemy character with a character, sustain hits 1 for melee weapons. Controlled one or more objective markers in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of either player's turn during the battle round, and a character was on the objective. Improve the OC characteristic by 1 for your entire army. God damn. Saga of the Bear. One or more Astartes units from your model were reduced to below half of their starting number of wounds during the battle round, but were not destroyed. Army-wide 6-up, feel no pain. No, you better make sure you kill them. And then Beast Slayer destroys a monster or vehicle, army-wide lethal hits. Wow. So obviously, you're probably only going to get maybe 2, maybe 3 of these. My assumption is probably 2 of these because you can only do 1 per battle round. Even if you do all 4 requirements, you can still only pick 1 saga, I believe. Yeah, because you only pick 1 saga. So while these do look really good and very fluffy and flavorful, I might add, you can only pick 1 per battle round. So, and a lot of these you're probably not going to complete on battle round 1, except maybe the Beast Slayer in case you're fighting a certain enemy. But for the most part, these will all be later on battle round 2 and on. All right, and then we also have the Hounds of Morkai as their main thing, which I think are like anti-psyker guys. 6-inch, T4, 3-up, 2 wound, 6 leadership, 1 OC, all classic stuff. Phobos is actually a keyword now. Smoke, etc. Okay, 6-inch moves scouts. They move up 6 at the start of the first battle round. And then in your shooting phase, you can select 1 enemy within 12 of this unit. If a lieutenant in Reaver armor is leading this unit, you can select 1 enemy within 18. That unit must take a battle shock test, subtracting 1 from the result if it is a psyker unit. If that test is failed, in addition to being battle shocked, that unit is stunned for the start of your next shooting phase. While a unit is stunned, each time a model in that unit makes a psychic attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. They also have a 6-up invul save that is upped to a 4-up against psychic attacks as well. So yeah, they're a heavy anti-psychic unit. Interesting. You're seeing the use of the psychic keyword a lot more now, with how it's being treated in the game. You have the Morkai bolt pistol, which is a 12-inch, simple shot, anti-psyker 4-up, devastating wounds pistol and precision. All right, so it's a pop some mortals into the enemy psychers kind of deal. And then the Morkai combat knife is kind of the same thing. Just stabby. I mean, these guys are pretty good to basically force battle shock tests on people. But other than that, they're kind of mid. They're decent at trying to kill psychers. They're good at murdering psychers, and they're probably good at nothing else besides maybe just forcing battle shock test on enemies, which could be useful in its own right, just to get rid of any possible abilities or stratagems. So, I mean, yeah, it's all right. It's kind of whatever, but it's fine. It's the Hounds of Morkai. They're a little bizarre anyway. Blood Angels, the Sons of Sanguinius. The Red Thirst. Each time an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is selected to fight, if that unit made a charge move this turn, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics of melee weapons equipped with models in this unit. That's classic Blood Angels. It's nowhere near as good as it used to be, but that's fine because it was really good. What was it before? It was +1 to the advance and charge, and also +1 to wound in melee, which is better than +1 strength in almost every way. Not the attacks though, but that's kind of folded in from their doctrine. All right. They have Gabriel Seth too. All right. That's pretty good detachment rule. Let's look at the Death Company Intercessors. Exact same stat line. Simple keywords. They have a 6-up Feel No Pain. Okay, pretty cool. Black Rage. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can re-roll the hit roll while this unit is not within 12 inches of one or more friendly chaplain models. It cannot be selected to fall back. The other control characteristic is 0. So, okay, they're really leaning into the Black Rage being a detriment overall, and you need the chaplain there to keep them in line. Granted, I mean, you still get the bonus of full rerolls to hit in general, but you cannot fall back and you don't hold objectives. You're like a frothing maniac, which is fair. Visions of Heresy. Horus! Once per turn, you can target this unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem with a Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CP. That's pretty good, especially the Overwatch one, I'd argue. Cool. Yeah. So we've seen the Astartes grenade launcher already. It's just a grenade launcher, honestly. Bolt pistol, the bolt rifle is 24 inches, 2 shots at 411. So, put down a little bit of her. Actually pretty impressed that it kept the extra AP. So that's interesting. Hand flamer is the exact same. So yeah. Heavy bolt pistol, 18-411. Yep. And that's all. The rest of this is all the same. Astartes chain sword, combat weapon. Yeah. They just have extra attacks. They have a higher attack amount overall than the rest. Cool. I mean, they look like intercessors that have an extra attack and a feel no pain and some fun rules. So that kind of what Death Company intercessors probably should be. So awesome. Sweet. And now Gabriel Seth. Epic Hero, Bolt Pistol, Blood Reaver can be attached to the following units: Assault Squad, Command Squad, Tactical Squad, and Vanguard Veteran Squad. Flesh Tearers. Models from the Flesh Tearers chapter, a successor of the Blood Angels. For all rules purposes, it is treated as a Blood Angels model. It cannot be included in an army that includes any other Blood Angels epic heroes. Okay, so no taking Dante with him, basically. All right. Gabriel Seth. That's actually, I think, a pretty decent way to mix it. Gabriel Seth, 6-inch move, T4, 3-up save, 6 wounds, 1 OC, and then 4-up invul save. Leader of the moment. Lord of Slaughter. Well, this unit is leading a unit That unit can declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And then Whirlwind of Gore. Yeah, these guys are definitely not chaos. Each time this model fights until the fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack characteristic of the model's Blood Reaver for every 5 enemy models within 6 inches of this model. Oh, 6 inches is actually a pretty solid aura for that. For every 5 enemy models, it's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. So he's got a regular bolt pistol, but the Blood Reaver is a sustained hits 1, 6 attacks at 8-3. Oh, wow. That is actually a chunky weapon. Huh. And if you go into a regular squad, it'd be 7 attacks and you can advance and charge. Oh, wow. Well, all right. I didn't expect the flat damage 3. I expected like flat damage 2. Flat damage 3 it's going to put some hurt. I mean, he's the chapter master of the Flesh Tearers. I'm assuming it's going to put some hurt on. Good job, Gabriel Seth. All right. Yeah. Damn. The Black Templars. All right. The Righteous Crusaders. At the start of the battle round, select one of the 4 Templar vows below to be active for Adeptus Astartes units from your army until the end of the battle. So this is a Tyranid style thing. Suffer not the unclean to live. Its melee weapons have the lethal hits. Uphold the honor of the Emperor. Models in this unit have the feeling of pain of a 6-up and a leadership of a 5-up. It's pretty good, actually. Keeps maybe really good against like Chaos Knights. Actually, lethal hits are pretty good against Chaos Knights too. Abhor the Witch, destroy the Witch. Models in this unit have a 4-up invul save against psychic attacks, and melee weapons equipped with this model have the anti-psyker 4-up ability. Okay. Accept any challenge no matter the odds. Melee weapons have the sustained hits 1. Okay, so yeah, basically it comes down to how tanky are you and do you need the leadership? How tough is the enemy models? How many psychers do they have? And how many horde do they have? You know, knights are the top, horde on the bottom, psychic here, and then everything in between there, I suppose. It's pretty good. It's solid. All good options. All right. Primaris Sword Brethren. We have 6-inch move. They have 3 wounds. That's the main difference here is the 3 wounds. And then Vow Sworn Bladesman. The start of the fight phase, you can select one of the following effects to apply to melee weapons equipped by models in this unit until the end of the phase. Add 1 to the attacks or add 1 to the damage. Wow. Okay. Hot diggity dog. So we have the combi weapon we know well enough, plasma pistols and all that. There's the Pyre pistol, which is just a hand flamer with +1 strength. Everything else here is pretty classic, and we've seen all of this before. So based on the combi plasma I'm seeing here, I'm going to assume that the bolter part of a combi weapon will always just be this. The bolter part will always just be this anti-infantry devastating wounds thing every time. And then the top part is just the regular gun, the plasma gun, basically. At least I'm assuming. Or all combi weapons are the exact same and it's just this. I don't know. And then the melee weapons we have are the chainsword that hits at 5 attacks. All right. The crafted power weapon, and then the thunder hammer, and then the regular power weapon. And then you could up these all to be 2 damage or 3 damage or extra attacks. That's a lot of attacks. And the extra wound. I mean, these sword brethren are actually looking mighty spicy. The durability, I'm actually not quite sure if the Black Templars have 3 wound Primaris Sword Brethren. I don't think they do, but let's go ahead and find out. Primaris Sword Brethren are 2 wounds, 3 attacks though. So, I mean, damn, that's good. Extra wounds, lots of extra attacks or damage depending on what you're fighting. That's good. That's very good. It's looking particularly spicy. All right, Death Watch. Oh, this will be rather interesting. Oh, it's long. All right. At the start of your command phase, you can select one of the mission tactics listed below. Until the start of your next command phase, that mission tactic is active and its effects apply to all units from your army with this ability. Each mission tactic can only be selected once per battle. So it's kind of like Doctrines. So it's kind of like Doctrines. So there are 3 ones and it's command phase until the end of the next command phase. So yeah. Weapons equipped by Starry's models have sustained hits 1, have lethal hits 1, and critical hits get precision. No restrictions on which, not melee or ranged, it's both. Melee and ranged get all this. Melee and ranged get all this. And melee and ranged get all this. This is also very similar to the NIDS. This is almost identical to the NIDS, except the NIDS have certain restrictions. It can only be used against but it's also game-wide. This is 3 uses per battle round. So, I mean, it makes sense. This is a Death Watch's adaptive force for the most part, sure. I feel like a lot of their anti-Xeno stuff will arrive in their data sheets or their stratagems. And then we've got Death Watch veterans. Oh, look at that. Death to the alien. 6-inch move, T4, 2 up armor, or 2 wounds, 3 up armor, 2 OC. 2 OC, so it's battle line units here. A Stardate shield gives them a 4 up, and we'll save. Nice. Death to the alien. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. If the target attack does not have Imperium or Chaos, reroll a hit roll instead. Okay, so there is the alien killing. Yeah, we have a bolt gun. We have they have all these weird weapons. The frag cannon is blast, heavy, rapid fire, D3, hits on 4s at 7.12 with 8-inch range. The Infernus heavy bolter is you have to pick one. It's like a pick one of the 2 type things. So you either fire the heavy bolter that has heavy and sustained hits, or the heavy flamer variant, depending on whichever one you need. The long vigil ranged weapon is an anti-infantry 4-up, devastating wounds and rapid fire 1 that is identical to the combi weapon. So I don't know what the major difference is, but that is a combi weapon for the most part. And then, of course, the missile launcher to go along with it. The close combat weapon, of course, is the regular fists. The Death Watch Thunderhammer is a much better Thunderhammer. My God, it is +2 strength and +1 damage. Way stronger overall. And then the Xenophase Blade is the 4 attacks at 5-1 with devastating wounds. I'm not going to lie. Death Watch are so out of my wheelhouse. They're cool and everything, but they are so complicated and confusing. They got all these wacky ass weapons, all this crazy stuff. I see Death to the Alien. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. I feel like I may have missed something across the board here because there was just so much, but it was a lot going on, and we had the other thing we had to discuss. Okay, Titanicus is next, which is just hilarious, but probably won't happen. Okay, overall, I'd say that the biggest reveal was the lion. The biggest reveal was the lion. More than anything, the lion was the biggest part of this entire reveal. As far as things go, the best attachment rule, I think, goes to either Blood Angels or Space Wolves. They seem really, really fun. These command squads look really good. The lion looks great. I like the Space Wolves one a lot. It's very fluffy, very fun. It might not be the most useful, but it's certainly interesting. Morkai Hounds look meh, but they're great at Psychic, which is their point. Death Company, to look at that seems a little bit interesting. Same with Gabriel Seth. And then Templars seem pretty spicy, those Sword Brethren. And then the Death Watch seem all right, from what I can tell. It's a whole lot of stuff, a lot going on. But for the most part, I'd argue that most of their abilities are decently fluffy, and that's what I care the most about. Decently fluffy, a little bit here and there with some of the specifics, a little bit of confusion. But I'd argue that they did a pretty good job at representing each of these sub-factions to a certain extent. The only boring one I see is the Dark Angels, Grim Resolve one, but what are you going to do? Cool. I guess I'll see you tomorrow for Titans? I guess? All right.